Good morning. My name is Mary Overton, and I am our lay leader today. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm wearing a black and turquoise pants outfit. And we are so glad that you're here today. This is a vibrant and busy time at First Unitarian Universalist Church of Austin. So before we formally begin our worship service, we invite you to lend your attention to a few brief announcements that will let you know about some ways to get involved in the life of the church. Each Sunday, one of our caring companions is designated to be available in the sanctuary after the service to listen to any immediate pastoral needs and assist you with connecting to additional pastoral support if you would like. Today's caring companion is Kelly Rayleigh. Kelly, could you identify yourself, please? Thank you. And to look for Kelly here after the service. On each Sunday, we light candles in the sanctuary and along the windows to mark sacred moments in our lives. Although we do have a time set aside during worship to note these candle lightings, you're invited to light candles at any time before or during the service when you feel moved to do so. This may help manage our service time as well. Now, this Tuesday, January 28th, at 6:30, we have a very special event here in Housen Hall, Vespers service and dinner. Please join Rev. Carrie Holley-Hurt and Biz Thornton for a complimentary, casual, family-friendly dinner and Vespers service. This Tuesday, 6:30, Housen Hall. And finally, it's Girl Scout cookie time. If you need your cookie fix, please find the Girl Scouts in the gallery on the way to Housen Hall after the service. So, let's see, I guess they're still out there. They got on the green vests. Now, let all who have gathered in beloved community, whether in virtual space or in person, join our spirits in worship together.
Good morning. Whether you are joining us online or live in the sanctuary, it's so good to see you. Welcome to First Unitarian Universalist Church of Austin. We are a spiritual community dedicated to a free and responsible search for truth, meaning, and beauty. I'm Reverend Carrie Holley-Hurt. I'm a 46-year-old white woman with blonde hair, green glasses, a navy suit, and a beautiful red stole given to me by this congregation. My pronouns are she and her, and it is a joy to be here this morning, because honestly, after the week we've just had, I can't imagine a better place to be. I especially want to welcome you if you are new to the congregation. If you are joining us remotely, and you can, please say hello in the comments. Let us know where you're watching the service from. And if you're here in person, just join us out after worship in House and Hall. Either way, we invite you to fill out the online visitors form at austinuu.org. Simply click on worship, which will then lead you to a link in the form. We would love to get to know you better. As we work to create beloved community, we welcome all who would join us in building a better world, a more loving, more just, more peaceful world. We welcome all who would join us in growing in minds and in heart and in spirit. We welcome all who would join us in tearing down systems of oppressions of all kinds. We welcome all who would join their purposes to ours in the loving spirit of right relations. Now we come from a long tradition of seeing the divine spark in everybody. So in that tradition, please turn and greet the holy among you. I never know how long to let this go, but maybe this morning a little bit longer. All right. I'll call in two, and you'll do the chalice, and I'll light it. Oops, wrong thing.
Please join me as we light our chalice. And let's say the words together. This is the flame we hold in our hearts as we strive for justice for everyone. This is the light we shine in the spirit of oppression until they are no more. This is the warmth we share with one another as our struggle becomes our salvation. Our call to worship today is I Side with the People, written by Reverend Drew Patton. If they ever ask you, which side are you on? Tell them plainly, I side with the people. With the precious ones, all, the integral, the soft and the fierce, irreplaceable, the beloved, if only by God and trees who were born, who breathe and survive. Say, I side with those who keep watch beneath the bright screaming arc of bombs, with those who hide in dark doorways or who through the moonlight flee, with those who stay and fight, and with those who kept up all night by hunger and grief and terror and rage, by desperate, unruly hope, who are good and green at the root, who are more than the worst that they've done, who do their best to love and still pass on the hurt in themselves that they hate. But what when take sides against each other, the people, against even themselves? Side with whatever is human in them, what is fragile and feeling and flesh. Side with the truth of our stories. Side with the fact of our pain. Side with defiant insistence on freedom. Side there again and again. Side there today and tomorrow. Side there the rest of your life. Side there together until we belong each one to every other. If ever they ask you, which side are you on? Say, it doesn't work like that. Tell them you side with the people and abide where the people are at. Please join us for our opening hymn, number 1002 in the Teal Hymnal, Comfort Me, verses 1, 2, 4, and 5.
One of the things that binds us here at First UU as a religious community is that the congregation has a common purpose. For the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Austin, that common purpose is its mission. The congregation wrote it together and put it on the wall in the sanctuary, and every Sunday we say it together so that we might readily carry it in our heart throughout the week. Let's say it together now. Together, we nourish souls, transform lives, and do justice to build the beloved community.
So anyone who would like to, there we go, please come join me on the stage. Go. All right. Hello, everybody. It's good to see everyone. Hello, hello. I've got a good one today. I'm excited about this particular story. All right. So this story is titled The Magical Yet. It's got words by Angela DiTerlizzi and art by Lorena Alvarez. All right. Hello, I'm here. Howdy. All right. The Magical Yet. There are days when your dreams haven't come true or you're upset by the things you can't do. If you've lost or failed or cried just a bit, you're tired of waiting, ready to quit. Like that shiny new bike you couldn't ride, and it didn't matter how hard you tried. You couldn't pedal and you couldn't steer, and you couldn't get that bike into gear. Then, when you thought you were on the right track, you popped a wheelie and fell on your back. And now you won't ride. No way, not never. No riding for you. You'll just walk forever. Don't give up now. There's a major game changer, a most amazing thought rearranger, someone to show you how good you can get. Now introducing the magical yet. Look at that yet. How cool is it? Right. With this yet's magic, you can begin to see that you're going beyond where you've been. There are so many things you've learned to do when you didn't even know the yet was with you. Like when you babbled before you could talk, or how you crawled before you could walk. All sorts of things we learn how to do. Yet's a dreamer, a schemer, a hoper, a trier, a maker, a doer, a gotta fly higher. This yet finds a way even when you don't, and yet knows you will when you think that you won't. Like that shiny new bike that you couldn't ride, hop right back on with the yet by your side. Yet doesn't mind warm-ups, fixes, and flops, do-overs, redos, stumbles, and stops. Yet knows there's mistakes, some big and some small. With yet, you're sure to get over them all. Play the kazoo or play the bassoon. Jam with the yet, you'll soon be in tune. Try skateboarding tricks like the ollie heel flip. This yet can get to the championship. Tongue twisters twisted your tongue in a knot, yet says keep trying and practice a lot. Be patient, yet can't do it all overnight. Some things take days, months, or years to get right. But if you keep leaping, dreaming, wishing, waiting, learning, trying, missing, with the yet as your guide along the way, you'll do all the things you can't do today. Or just as that. Now you're bolder, braver, starting to see. With yet, you can get where you want to be. You finally did it, yet knew you could. You're not just writing, you're getting quite good. But don't stop now, you've got so much to do. The good news is, this yet grows with you. So no matter how big or old you may get, you'll never outgrow and you'll never forget. You can always believe in the magic of yet. All right, the end. That is our story for today. If you'd like to go back to your people or join me on the playground, I will see you next Sunday.
Ministries of this church by making an offering. We give out of our own so that together we might build a better world. If you are visiting with us today, please allow the plate to pass you by. You are our guests. You can give in a few different ways by going to austinuu.org and clicking on the link at the top right-hand side of the page, or by texting your contributions to 84321, or by placing an offering in the basket the ushers are about to pass. Here in the sanctuary, the ushers will now collect our offering. All blessings on your gifts, and all blessings on you as givers. Our second reading today is Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things.
This is a time in our service where we center ourselves, where we breathe together. My beloved community, this has been a hard week inside a hard month that's coming on the back of a hard year. We have experienced so much heartbreak and so much heartache, both communally and individually. We hold so much fear for ourselves, for our loved ones, and for those we don't even know. But in breathing together, we can sense one another's loving presence. And just for a while, let us have that be enough. I invite you to be held in all your pain, in your rage, in your fear, in your grief. Right now in this place, supported by the earth, surrounded by like-hearted people. I invite you now to light candles if you are so moved. Candles representing sorrow or joy, hope, remembrance, or resilience. Whatever it is you need to honor or let go of at this time. As we light candles, I invite you to keep in your mind and hearts members of our community who are ill or in sorrow, and all those in the world, and those who are celebrating joys, remembering that joy still exists. Let us hold the silence together throughout this meditative time. And now we light one last candle for those who have no one to light a candle for them. So, during the Texas legislative session of 2021, probably in March, I found myself suited up and in an overflow room waiting to testify against one of the many, many bills that day that were attacking the LGBTQIA+ community. I was perfecting my testimony, making sure it was respectful and even keel and full of logical arguments. And across the aisle was a large group of mostly young queer people who were sitting together and chatting. I was feeling so uncomfortable for them. I was thinking, y'all, be serious. They are not going to take us seriously if you are not serious. And then there's this huge explosion of laughter from that side of the room, and I turn kind of in exasperation. But very quickly, two things are revealed to me. The first is that the person testifying at that moment was someone from a religious organization who was using God's name to dehumanize and support a dehumanizing bill. The second was that laughter was coming from the group because Reverend Remington Johnson, who, with great mercy and great love, pulled their attention away from all that hate and onto her, so she could fill them with love. And that's when it hit me. All this time, I thought it was important for me to be good enough, to look presentable, to sound presentable, to play the part so that I could, beg for justice? But why was I trying to appeal to the egos of those in power who were causing harm when the people who needed love, attention, care, and solidarity were the people in that room having to fight for their humanity? This was a major breaking point in my life. You see, I'd spent so much of my life and so much of my energy trying to be good. Be a good girl, sweet, don't bother anyone. Be a good little born-again Christian, couldn't have anyone going to hell on my watch. Be a good worker, a good student, a good friend, a good partner, a good mother, you get it. I pretzeled myself into being what I was told was good by all the powers that be. Y'all, I am a recovering civ, having poured out all of my energy in an attempt to be affirmed in my goodness to those powers. And I don't think I'm the only one. Because systems of supremacy, like white supremacy, heteropatriarchy, for example, spend a lot of energy trying to rob us and others of our humanity. And it often does so by wielding good like a weapon. Even those who carry the most privilege in the supremacy system, y'all aren't free. And if you don't believe me, you cis men, tomorrow go out in a dress. I guarantee you, your male privilege will drop just like that. Privilege and freedom, those aren't the same. And so the system does its best to keep us, all of us, pretzeling to stay in bounds of good. And this pretzeling takes us right out of our humanity. I can only conclude that's because true liberation starts with the liberation of self. There is so much liberation in seeing the humanity in ourselves, to embrace who we really are, our whole messy wholeness, to allow ourselves to be colored outside of the lines of what supremacy culture allows, When we honor the humanity in ourselves, we honor the humanity in others. It's much harder to other someone or demonize someone where we are working to see their full humanity. We stop judging them against impossible and dehumanizing standards and start allowing grace and compassion to come into our relationships. Being good by squeezing ourselves in the acceptable boxes of supremacy thinking is incompatible with liberation because it's incompatible with our humanity. Being good is also a fixed position. You attain it, and then you got to stay there, which means growing is out of the question. And often you have to use all your energy just to stay in defense of growth. This past summer at General Assembly, a time when you youths from all over the place come together to decide on the direction of our faith, we had the opportunity to vote on the business resolution titled Embracing Transgender, Non-Binary, Intersex, and Gender Diverse People as a Fundamental Expression of Our UU Religious Values. Now, spoiler, it passed, which is great news. But during that debate, some people spoke against the resolution using what has been a widely debunked report called the Cass Report. No surprise. But my reaction to that was people wasn't very generous. Very affirmed in my own goodness, actually, as a social justice warrior. I had all sorts of thoughts and opinions about those UUs. And then I had a conversation with my wise friend, and yours, Bis, who said, they're trying to rationally justify their disgust through something that they think holds authority, like the case report. Instead of just being like, whoa, I am reacting to another human being with disgust. Is that okay with me? Now, I do not think that anyone who cited that report did so because they were trying to hurt people. Though, let me be clear, they did. No, I think they were desperately trying to protect themselves, to protect their identity as a good person. And as much as it pains me, this realization led me to see all the times that I had done the same. When I feel uncomfortable, and instead of saying, "Ugh, I'm uncomfortable, let me sit with this. Does this align with my values? What's going on?" Instead, I often interpret it as danger. And when you interpret something as danger, it leads to a fight response. I have to defend myself, or whether I have to protect my good person status. And the fight response makes a lot of sense, because discomfort is actually dangerous. It's dangerous to those ideas and thoughts we hold that are not aligned with our core self, that are not aligned with our core values, are not aligned with what we are working towards, which is the beloved community. So that fight you feel when you are uncomfortable, it's legitimate, but it's not helpful. To fight our discomfort is to keep us stuck. It is to hold tight to the image we are trying to project, which keeps us cut off from growth. Therapist Iris McKellen-Garrett writes, "The more tightly we cling to our identity as a good person, the more skilled we become at rationalizing our behavior, and the less available we are to examining the ways we cause harm." Holding tightly to your identity as good will undermine your growth because it doesn't make room for this discomfort. And I don't want my growth undermined. There is too much harm in this world. There is too much suffering happening right now for me to stay static. I don't want to stop the necessary growth and transformation that is needed in order for me to do my part. And as a people who are committed to building the beloved community, I don't want us to pretzel ourselves either. I don't want us to cut off ourselves from humanity. I don't want us to appeal to the powers that be, begging for scraps of our humanity, for morsels of justice. They're never going to give it, not in any real and tangible way, and certainly not in any way that leads us to the beloved community. Now, I didn't write this down, but let me be clear. This does not mean y'all need to not go to the legislature this session. Show up. Show up in your full humanity for others' full humanity. I want a bigger, more connected life for myself and for everyone. And being good requires a level of control that just doesn't allow that. Looking back, I can see all the ways that I tried to control every situation and attempt to control how people perceive me. And that's just plain exhausting. If we want to work for equity and inclusion, but we haven't liberated ourselves from good, we can get stuck on learning the rules for the rules' sake. Like learning what is racist and ableist and sexist language and moving it out of our vocabulary, but just kind of ending there. Writer Zadie Smith says, "I'm always happy when people use the right words around me and others, but it is nothing compared to decent wages, decent housing, health care, and human rights." Yes, we should try to make sure not to cause harm or further harm with our language, but it is just a part of the bigger landscape of what we are trying to do in a liberating space. Which means we have to act, and to act is to risk. UU ethicist Sharon Welch wrote a book called The Feminist Ethic of Risk. And she wrote that the work we are called to do, or the work that we call ourselves to do, requires risk. She writes, "What improbable task with what unpredictable results shall we undertake today? In trading an ethic of control for an ethic of risk. And in living out that ethos, we can neither undo the past nor control the future. But we can learn from the past, and we can live creatively and responsibly and compassionately in the present." Living creatively and responsibly and compassionately are the building blocks of liberation, are the building blocks of the beloved community. And our religion provides us a foundation for that kind of risk. One of the new values is transformation, which is pretty cool because First Pew U has been on it for a while. Exhibit A. In Article 2, the transformation value reads, "We adapt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform, grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian Universalist heritage. Never complete and never perfect." To me, this says that our religion encourages us in our humanity, encourages us in our growth and in our change to continuously learn so that we might do better over and over again. To discard old beliefs as we gain deeper understanding of the world and of one another. For the liberation of ourselves and for the liberation of others. But what I love most is how this value acknowledges what this looks like when we show up in our full humanity. Never complete, never perfect. I don't know about y'all, but that's a pretty powerful pass for me. So if we're going to do away with good, what are we going to do? We strive to be in our humanity, to embrace this whole messiness that is being human, and to do it with creativity responsibility, and as much compassion as we can. We strive to stop pretzeling ourselves into some ideal that was written by supremacy culture to keep us small and manageable. I don't want to be small, and I certainly do not want to be manageable to dehumanizing systems like white supremacy and patriarchy. Do you? We also strive to see the humanity in others and to be so tuned in to their humanity when it is under attack. Even when we don't have stakes in the game, we stand in solidarity and push back against that dehumanizing way that they are being attacked. Because we remember that we are beholden to one another and not systems. And like Bishop Buddy this week, we speak truth to those systems of power as many times as necessary. We also get good at repair. We get good at coming back when we have caused harm and asking for forgiveness. Not to make sure that we're okay, everybody's okay, but as an actual concern for the person that was harmed. And we strive to hold our values so closely while allowing for growth, allowing for the evolution of thought and opinion we need as we move throughout this life and throughout building the beloved community. And in this way, we strive to be like our living tradition, constantly changing and evolving, growing through risk, through relationship, and through repair. This is going to be imperative during this legislative session, and I think it goes without saying, at least the next 4 years. Louis Fisher, a Universalist theologian around a century ago, wrote these words: "Universalists are often asked to tell where they stand. The only true answer to give to this question is that we do not stand at all. We move. We do not stand still, nor do we defend any immovable position. We grow, as all living things forever must do." So, let's hold on to our humanity. Let's get normalize learning from our discomfort. Let us be good with one another. Let us be relentlessly fighting for one another. And let's get comfortable with the never complete and never perfect part of it all. Because we are no longer begging for scraps of justice. We are demanding liberation.
Now, please rise, either in body or spirit, and let us sing together our closing hymn, number 149, in the gray hymnal. Lift every voice and sing. Now, please say the words as we extinguish our chalice. Say them together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we hold in our hearts until we are together again.
As you leave the sacred time of being with one another, may you leave knowing that you are held. May you leave feeling grounded. May you leave feeling loved, knowing that you are not alone, not today or ever. Go in peace.